Okay, Seldon here again. Round 7 Japan. Just to give you a little idea of what UK did. Industrial complex, infantry and fighter. They did not go into France, which is good news. Took Northwest Europe and Norway, which I suppose was an inevitability. Might be able to knock him out with a tank, with a bomber. What I sort of foresee happening is he's going to bring in the US fleet, possibly, and combine US fleets here. I don't know. Could try and start up a shock there, I guess. The issue with that right now is that Germany has very few distractions. We've wiped out Russia. Probably most of Asia's going to be under German or Japanese control. So, I mean, I can pump out vast numbers of troops there. You can probably take Africa back. In fact, we'll mostly take it back this turn, which isn't great. But we'll have pretty much the majority of the entire Europe and Asia. Surprising how resilient, though, the national production of the Allies is. With the, even without having Europe and Asia, if you look at here, the national production is 80, 50, 60, 70, 84 for the Allies. That's identical to the Germans and the Japanese, right now anyway. It's coming to my turn. We're going to switch things up with the Japanese are going to start trying to take some of these islands back. It just shows you, though, that pretty much, even if you lose most of, even right now they've lost most of Africa as well. They've just got a little toehold on Southeast Asia here. And they've got the Money Islands, and that seems to make up for pretty much the rest of Europe and Asia. Trouble is we've got a massive advantage here now in attack power. 216 versus 132. Within the realms of going, double the attack power. Interestingly, they've pulled out of Amund's pull out of India. Obviously sees that India is a lost cause. I just want to show this attack on India that I did. Actually, I was looking at it again and think, gosh, that was it's a really good example of concentrating all of the force onto one target, which you sort of have to do in this game. So here I'm attacking this because I able to build those tanks. Tanks are very good for concentrating force too, but I was able to build 4 tanks here, move another 3 tanks in. This is 7 tanks threatening India, plus another 12 plus 1 here, so it's 20 tanks all within range, plus another 7. They're basically just there as soakers for hits, just to let the tanks. You don't want to lose too many tanks, so you have to send some soakers with the tanks. Soak up all the enemy hits. And then we're also within range. We brought, there's actually 7 bombers in range. 4 fighters are in range as well. So I've been able to concentrate 20 tanks, 7 infantry, so 27, 31 with the aircraft, plus another 7 bombers, 38 units. Incredible, yeah, within range there. So try in your games to just see what you can do to just concentrate all force, even if they're, these are fighters at the very edge of their range. The bombers in Germany, very edge of the range, but they can do it. They're threatening units all over the board with their long range, which is good. Yeah, but certainly try and do that. The next turn, what I'm going to do with Japan is I need to start taking some IPCs back for Japan. Some targets might include Alaska, but ideally I'd love to try and get the Philippines. Got 5 units in there. He'll probably put another 3, so it'll be 8. He might put 2 fighters in there as well. So that gets us up about 10 units in there. What would I attack with? I could attack with 4 plus 4. I can get about 8 in there, so it's possibly not enough. Just a bit annoying. But even though I can't get there, I can land sort of in Malaya. I don't think he's going to let me get through to Borneo, but he'll have to probably put a blocker in Sea Zone 48 around the Philippine Sea, which will just cost him a blocker, right? So I want to build the 2 transports. I can pick up a troop or 2 from one of these islands. Worst case, it'll divert a lot of forces, even if I can't go down south with the Japanese Navy. If I go up here, it just diverts a huge amount of US resources up this way. It's going to have to come across to try and stop it from, it's going to have to come across here with some units to try and take back Alaska. I'd also be threatening Western USA with like 8 forces or something. So it just means he's got to divert all these forces down here. Then I can probably take Hawaii for free. I could even come down here, down this way, and attack from this side. These will start getting pretty strong though, so... But again, now what he's doing, instead of pumping units out of the money islands here, these 3 islands, which are worth a combined, 11, right? Huge. Instead of being able to pump units out of those and send them onto the battlefield, he's now having to pump units out just to defend the islands, which is a victory in and of itself. So that's why I want to build 2 transports. I don't think this American fleet's going to be sticking around. I think he wants to pull it through the Suez Canal here. So I don't think I'll have to worry about that, but I mean, I could be wrong. But I'd love to threaten a whole bunch of stuff. It's actually not too bad, even if I can bring down the entire Japanese fleet to say 36 next turn. That just threatens all these islands, and he's going to have to hunker down and just waste a lot of production in building infantry in there. Pull all defensive, fighters back here rather than having them on the front lines. So that's a victory in and of itself. All right. The other advantages of transports too is that I think I can pull these units down now too. I can pull them down here, because if he comes up here, I'll just smash them and can take if he tries to go Viking Sao. All right, I've got to keep an eye on he's only at 6 out of 10, but I've got to keep a little bit of an eye on a victory snipe, because he could take the China capital. He's already got this one. He could easily take Italy next turn. He can probably take France with a bit of combined forces. He's going to try, there's potential he could get this as well. It's a little bit of when you're looking bad on the battlefield, instantly a lot of the good players start to switch over to thinking about, is there some way I can win with a VP snipe? That'll become a lot harder calculus for him if I can take India, so I'll certainly try to do that. But they do go, but the Americans do play last, right, in the round, and if they've got 10 enemy capitals at the end of the Americans' turn, that's it, that's game over, and the Axis lose, so that's a real risk. All right, the only question is whether I bring the tank around to here. He could potentially come in here with, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Something like 12. Possibly even 13, 14 units. I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not the best. Might be bad, but we'll see what we can do. Even if I wound them a bit. Actually, yeah, and I've got another 3 units here too in Japan, so hopefully that's still a dead zone. If I capture it quickly, I think we're okay. So let's do that. Let's double check there's nothing. No. Let's just do that then. Three, 4. No, not much I can do there. Okay. I think that's actually literally my game. My combat move. 1 turn. It's nice being able to control these waters here now. Suddenly they're on the defensive a little, which is really nice for a change. I've got 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll have 13. What have the British got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. So we'll need the US, and the US can only make it to there. All right. All right, so he'll, these guys will get ejected soon. They're going to probably head over to Africa and try and take a strong Africa. This is going to be pretty messy looking next turn, unfortunately. It's going to look pretty bad. Africa's going to get wiped out, but it was good while it lasted. But in return, I'll take Southeast Asia. I want to just destroy this whole pocket here that's sitting in Southeast Asia, and then what you can do if you're going to have just a good pocket like these sort of number of troops just off the coast, then you pretty much got the coast is pretty safe and secure. Then I want to start picking these islands off, and this will just turn into a bit of a fortress over here. I don't think I'm going to I've got enough IPCs over here. Like I've got a land bridge as well. I don't even need, if you control, Caucasus and India, you've got a land bridge to Africa. You don't even really need a navy. I could pretty much, not build any more ships for the Axis anyway, and just concentrate on naval. If the Axis control all of Asia, Europe and Africa as well, I mean, it's game over, right? Even if it's even if the US controls the Money Islands and continues to control the Money Islands, if I've got all of this, and that's what, 7, India and Caucasus pumping out 7, Russia maybe doing a few as well down here, so I can get probably 10 units into Africa really efficiently. I have a big chunk of tanks that can just storm back through after they wipe out the British units. So I'm feeling okay about things. I just want to clean up India once and for all. And then, yeah, I don't even think I'm even going to worry about naval. I'll just use the land bridge here to... so number one objective, take control of... So number one objective, really, I think use this navy to start harassing and seeing whether I can take any of these nice little things back. Just cause a bunch of IPC diversions by the US, like doing a light capture of Alaska and threatening eastern USA, things like that. Or if I can, if opportunity arises, to take 1 or 2 of these islands back. Or third option, just come in here and just help the Germans clean up these Allied units here as they come through and take India. That would be absolutely fine. I'll probably end up stationing my bombers more then in Caucasus. It's a great little location for bombers there. And then otherwise this is just going to become a fortress over here, and yeah, they'll take little bits and pieces, then I'll just take them back next turn and have a few large stacks here. I need to strengthen the France stack a little bit. And what you can do periodically is just bring, if you want to just be difficult, you bring your entire bomber force, say, over to Germany just for a turn, just to force the Allied naval ships to all scatter, or spend a whole lot on reinforcements and then move them somewhere else to do the same thing. So I've got about 7 bombers in service right now. So they're very useful at that, just making the enemy scatter in various areas, a force of like 7 bombers. Might even see if I can get that up to 10 or so. I've got these fighters there too, so it's all looking pretty good. Next turn's going to be ugly though, because he's going to take pretty much the entirety of Africa. In fact, I think he'll take every... I'll have 1 territory left in Africa. But in response, I'll take this strongly. So I'll have India strong, and we'll start to just basically clear out Southeast Asia. So not the end of the world, and I'll do what I can to threaten these guys really badly. At least he'll be forced to divert a whole lot of troops just to go in. You know, he wants to be putting troops on the front line in Europe, but they'll be having to build sort of 3 here. There's going to be have to be 4 there. They'll have to build 4 here. Especially if I come up to Alaska too, he's going to have to do like 8 units in eastern USA, where they're pretty much pointless, just to hold it. So I think that's the way we'll go. So just make things as inefficient as possible for the Allies up here. Take all of this. I think this is the priority. Take Southeast Asia. Second priority, then just use the land bridge to Africa to then take Africa back in about 3 or 4 turns. All right, Seldon signing off.